episode 85 of Piv's NXT Point of View podcast. My name is Bill Pivets. So this week's episode focused on the final two first-round matchups of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We kicked off with one of them, Tian Bing and Ho Ho Lun against Team DIY, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Bing was actually pretty impressive. He came in at 6'3", pretty much towering over his opponents. He was overpowering Ciampa a little early. DIY hit Lun with a roll-through heel kick and a neckbreaker combination. I'm not a fan of the name. I'll get to that a little later, but I actually appreciate it that they have a team name, so I don't have to keep calling them Ciampa and Gargano. Makes things a little easier on me. Lun and Bing hit some rapid-fire moves on Gargano, including like a double knee strike in the corner and a missile dropkick. I think that was Lun off the top rope. Lun then blocked a powerbomb, but received the spear from Gargano through the ropes. DIY, after taking out Bing, hit him with a super kick knee strike, their combination, to get the win. Decent match. Actually wasn't that bad. Predictable finish. You knew DIY, considering who they're facing in the second round, were going to go over here. Bing, he was a little timid in the ring, I noticed in the early going. Very slow, not going through the motions, but just taking it step by step, kind of like paint by numbers. I gotta be here at this time, be here at this time. Didn't really look fluid. Actually, Corey Graves mentioned this as well. He is not a fan of the name, neither am I. I think they introduced it at Brooklyn too, back in August. So it's had a few months to grow, but I'm just not a fan of Team DIY, do it yourself. I get the premise behind it, but as a team name, I think they could have come up with something something that pops a little more than DIY. TJ Perkins and Kota Ibushi were interviewed backstage, technically before the show. They talked about their partnership and what it means to compete in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Samoa Joe was then interviewed about his almost attack on Nakamura last week. He said that was a lie. He was just testing the waters. And he said that his attacks had made Nakamura a scared champion, and he's going to walk out of TakeOver NXT champion. Second match was Aaliyah versus Billie Kay with Peyton Royce. Kay went right after Aaliyah. At this point during the show, I was actually watching Game 2 of the World Series, so I kind of was in and out of this women's match. I am rooting for the Cubs. I'm a Yankees fan, but I'm pulling for the Cubs. I just want that curse to be broken. I feel so bad for them. Aaliyah landed a running axe kick in the corner and then an enziguri, but Kay was still on her feet. Took her a little while to knock her off. At this point, Liv Morgan ran down. She went after Peyton Royce, which distracted Billie Kay. Aaliyah took advantage, rolled her up, and get the win. Liv went right in the ring right after, and she attacked Kay. Royce made it a 2-on-1. Aaliyah came back and evened the odds, but Peyton Royce and Billie Kay were the ones left standing after that whole little brawl. I like it. They're kind of developing some sort of division here with heels, faces, and giving these two some sort of power in the division. But outside of this little brawl, who's going to care about Aaliyah or Liv Morgan or the other two after this little feud's over? I'm assuming it's going to lead to some sort of tag match at TakeOver, or maybe a singles match blow-off, but it's a secondary or even a tertiary feud in the women's division that not many fans are into. Third match of the night was Ty Dillinger versus Noah Poches, I think it's pronounced. Noah caught him with the right hand. He stomped him on in the corner a little bit. Ty returned the favor with his own stomps, and then lifted Noah up for the tiebreaker to get the win. Pretty much a showcase match for Ty Dillinger heading into TakeOver. Really nothing special here. After the match, Ty was cutting a promo on Rude. As he was talking, Rude attacked him from behind. He then planted Ty with the implant DDT on the stage and walked out. Backstage, TM61 cut a promo about their match against Roderick Strong and Austin Aries in the second round. Shane actually used the same line that I believe Tommaso Ciampa used a few weeks ago about how you don't choose your family, but you choose your friends. And they use their we're mighty, but the mighty don't kneel line. I don't get it. I've said this before. I really don't see anything in these two. They're nice to watch in the ring. They're talented. I get that, but I don't know what their gimmick is. They're not that impressive on the mic. They're kind of just two guys to me. Until I see something that stands out and makes me go, wow. And granted, there's been a couple spots in their matches that have raised my eyebrows, but I'm just not impressed with these two, how they're like the big international signing that they were made out to be. I honestly just don't see it. And I'm not being a smart. I'm not being like the all negative guy that just craps on everything. Because there's some stuff that I actually like. But with these two, I'm just not seeing it. Fourth match was Asuka versus the Trinidad. Wasn't really much of a match. Asuka landed a hip attack off the ropes, and then she toyed with the a little bit. Asuka landed an ankle lock. She then transitioned it to a nice German suplex before winning with the armbar. After the match, William Regal walked out. He congratulated her on her win and her dominance in NXT. He then said he found a worthy opponent after scouring all over the world for her match at TakeOver. Mickie James then appeared on the screen. The crowd popped huge. She still looks good, even considering I haven't seen her on TV. I don't think she's been with TNA for a while. So she's still in great shape. Asuka was pumped. She was excited. Mickie said that that Asuka's defeated all sorts of women, but she hasn't defeated her. And that Mickie James has defeated Hall of Famers and former women's champions. The crowd began a yes chant, and now that it's official, that it's showed on TV and the wheels are in motion, this is going to be a great match. Possibly my sleeper for match of the night. Paul Ellering was shown backstage with the Authors of Pain. They were approached by Charlie, who asked if he was impressed with the Tag Team Classic so far. He said that his picture is clear, the puzzle is complete, and his strategy for the Authors of Pain will be executed. He then said, "Tell him Akam," kind of like a throwback to Tell him Hawk from the LOD days. And then they started spewing something in, I think, Samoan. I wasn't too sure what the language was. And then they walked away. Next week, we have 2 second-round matchups, Authors of Pain versus No Way Jose and Rich Swann, and Sanity versus the winners of the main event, Kota Ibushi and TJ Perkins versus Lince Dorado and Mustafa Ali. Perkins and Dorado went move for move, kind of back and forth. They did a kip up at the same time, kind of stared off. Crowd clapped for them. And Ali and Kota got the tags. It was their turn. After a little exchange, they went to a commercial break. After the break, TJP locked in the knee bar, but Mustafa Ali grabbed the ropes. Lince landed a dive over the top rope onto Perkins, and then a crossbody from the top back into the ring. Ali landed a nice kick to the head and a rolling neckbreaker. They kind of focused on Perkins for a little bit before Kota got the hot tag. He took out both opponents. Kota hit a nice moonsault, and Perkins hit a frog splash combination, but Ali broke up the pin. Ibushi took out Ali on the outside with a huge moonsault. Ali was then tagged in, and he immediately tapped to the knee bar when Perkins locked it in. Fun match. I liked it. Reminded me of the great matches we saw in the Cruiserweight Classic, and I kind of shed a tear because I missed that. TJ Perkins pulling double duty. I know this was taped a couple weeks in advance, but he's still competing on Raw, and he's got his Hell in a Cell match. Not a cell match, but his match at Hell in a Cell against the Brian Kendrick. So he's been going all out, and it's good to see Kota Ibushi back on NXT. Considering he didn't want to sign full-time, he competed in the Classic, now he's competing in the tag tournament. But overall, it was a good match. Back and forth, a lot of high flying. The crowd was into it. Nothing to complain about. As for the show, 50-50. 2 tag team matches were good. I liked them a lot. Women's matches were whatever. And Dillinger gets a nice squash win. Mickie James' announcement got a huge reaction from the crowd. They're all over it. And I'm glad for her. Glad that she's back on, at least in a WWE stance. Whether it's not Raw or anything, but she's actually back in WWE good graces. Maybe it'll lead to a Hall of Fame, maybe a WrestleMania match, who knows. TakeOver is a little over 3 weeks away, November 19th, so they kind of have the match card laid out. You have Samoa Joe, Nakamura, you have Ty Dillinger, Bobby Roode, you have Asuka, Mickie James, you have the finals, I don't know if the semifinals are as well, but at least the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Speaking of the Tag Team Classic, the second round is set. Authors of Pain versus No Way Jose Rich Swann, Team DIY versus The Revival in one bracket, and then the second one is Sanity versus Kota Ibushi and TJ Perkins, and TM61 versus Austin Aries and Roderick Strong. Out of those 4 matches, I see Authors of Pain, DIY, Sanity, and Aries Strong as the 4 teams remaining. Out of those 4, I really don't see I can predict the winner. I don't know if DIY will hand the Authors of Pain their first loss. I don't know if that's how they want to go about it. And do Sanity get themselves disqualified, allowing Aries and Strong to advance? Or are they just too crazy and dominate Aries and Roderick Strong? Who knows? But I'm looking forward to the rest of the tournament. Should be good. So next week we have 2 of the second round matchups announced, and there really hasn't been anything else announced. But that's kind of why we tune in, right? Just to see what happens. We don't want to be told everything. We want some surprises. All right, guys, that was episode 85. Follow me on Twitter at bpiv_sports. Rate, review, subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff on YouTube. I post the new shows every Thursday. Other than that, I'll check you back next week. Peace.